Okay, this is going to be a video on quadratic systems of equations for regular algebra 2. Okay, so first thing we have to understand is what we're talking about with a system of quadratic equations. If you have a quadratic, if you have a quadratic in a line, there's a couple different types of solutions. You could have two, where it crosses twice, once where it touches once, or it doesn't touch at all. This is quadratic and quadratic, You could have a situation where it crosses twice, touches once, or doesn't touch anything at all. So what we're finding is we're finding the intersection points. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to do this algebraically. So what we want to do is when we're solving algebraically, we want to get them set equal to y equals, All right, for the reason of, I can then set them equal to each other. Okay, now, just like we talked about before with solving quadratics, I want to get that x squared to be positive. So what's going to happen is all these terms are going to move. So I got now positive x squared, positive x, minus 6, and then still positive x, positive 3. If I go to combine this, that's x squared. The x's would combine to 2x, and negative 6 and 3 would combine to negative 3. Now, there's all kinds of ways to solve it. The easiest way here is to factor this, With the x squared, easy to factor. 1 times negative 3 is negative 3. All right, here are the factors. All right, one side would be negative, and that'd be negative 1 and 3, So I got x squared minus 1x plus 3x minus 3, So this would be x, this would be x, this would be 3, and this would be 1 with a minus, So I got x minus 1, x plus 3. So the solutions here are 1 and negative 3, All right, so you can solve using any method. Now, so what I want to do is my answer is a set of coordinate points. So I got a 1 and I got a negative 3. So what do I got to find? If this is the x, I got to find the y. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that into the easiest equation. Well, 1 plus 3 is 4. Then I'm going to take negative 3 and put it in there. Negative 3 plus 3 is 0. So that's where those intersect at, So use the easiest point that you have, All right. All right, so let's go ahead and look at this one. I got both these set equal, all right? So I got this set equal to this. Now, on this one, I'd like to move these back. So that's going to be x squared plus 7x plus 12, positive x squared, positive x, positive 12, So what I got here, the x squareds would combine to 2x squared. The 7x and then 1x would combine to 8x. 12 and 12 would combine to 24, Now, I would probably use the quadratic formula here to come up with my x values, all right? Could you factor this? Yeah, you probably could. All right. You would have to take out a 2, whoops, that should be a 9x. Apologize. Yeah, no, that is 8x. 8x, 24, take out a 2. That's going to be, well, let's check this real quick, make sure I didn't make a mistake on this. Polynomial, 32, 2, 8, 24. No real roots. What did I do here? Oh, this 12 should have come over and become a negative 12. That's what I did wrong. So negative 12. So that's going to be this. So actually, what I would do here is I would simply, I was wondering why I wasn't getting an answer. This and this combine to 0, right? So what I would do here is I would take out a 2x, and so that would turn into x plus 4. Well, I can't factor that any further. That solution would be 0. That solution would be negative 4. So I got 0, for x for this one, and then negative 4 for this one, Now, I would use that equation, and put 0 in for x. So 0 squared plus 7 times 0 plus 12 gives me 12. And if I put negative 4 in there, negative 4 squared plus 7 times negative 4 plus 12, I get 0, So that ends up being my algebraic solution. Okay, let's do one more together. I got x squared minus 6x plus 5x equals negative 2x squared plus 9x minus 7. So what I'd want to do is I'd want to move these over to make that positive. So I got x squared, same thing over here, positive 2x squared, negative 9x, positive 7 equals 0. So my x's here would combine to 3x squared. Then I got negative 6, negative 9, which is negative 15x. And then I got 5 and 7, which is going to give me 12. Okay? Now, you could factor this, or you could do the quadratic formula. Okay? It does not matter which method you choose. Okay? All right? Now, if you wanted to do the quadratic formula, this is my A, this is my B, this is my C. Okay? So I got negative 15 squared minus 4 times 3 times 12. Okay, discriminant would be 81. I take the square root of 81, I get 9. In the quadratic formula, the opposite of B is positive 15, and then 2 times 3, which would be 6. So 15 plus 9 is 24, divided by 6 would be 4. 15 minus 9 is 6, divided by 6 is going to be 1. Okay, so those are my x values. I got 1, and I got 4. And then what I got to do is put those back in, all right? Now I'm going to use the positive x squared one just because I think it's easier to substitute. But all I got to do is every spot where there's an x, I just put that. Gives me negative 3. And then I do the same thing for 1. That is 0, okay? And that's how you solve those algebraically. Okay, go ahead and pause your video and go ahead and work on those. Okay, now we're going to talk about them with graphing. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to graph these individual. Okay, so we're going to graph any the vertex. We're going to graph any roots. We're going to graph any y-intercepts. Okay, all right, for each. All right, we're going to do that individually. Okay, all right, and then once we've done that, we're going to graph the intersection. Okay? All right, I'm going to show you how to do that in the calculator. So let's start. We're going to do one equation at a time. I'm going to go to graph. I'm going to go to x squared, all right, minus 2x plus 2. Okay? All right? Okay, now G-solve minimum. I got a minimum of 0.5, 1.75. So here, G-solve root. I don't have any roots. Okay, all right, G-solve y-intercept, I got a y-intercept of 2, okay? All right, so this graph's gonna look something like this. All right, then I'm gonna go ahead and graph the other one. In this case, it's 2 minus 3x, okay? All right, draw. All right, I don't have a vertex for this, but let's see, I got a G-solve root. I got a root at 0.6, okay? And then G-solve y-intercept, I got a root at 2, okay? All right. All right, so I'm going to start that graph. Now, I'm going to go ahead and find the intersection points, all right? So I'm going to go ahead and put both of those in there. X squared minus 2x plus 2. All right, I hit G-solve intersection. All right, I got an intersection at negative 1, 5. Okay, so negative 1, 5 up. So that's definitely on there. And then I got an intersection at 0, 2. Okay, all right, so sorry, that looks pretty bad. So I got to make sure that when I make my quadratic, let me back up here for a second. All right, I got these points for the quadratic. Okay, I'm just going to do this to start because I know that's the way it goes. And I got this, and I think it was 2 originally. Yeah, so I got these 2 points, all right? And then additionally, I got negative 1, 5. Okay, so I know that quadratic goes through that, and goes up. This one I know goes through here and then through there. I know that graph looks sort of iffy, but we'll clean it up on the next one, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and let's do this a little bit differently. Let's find our intersection points first. Okay, so, and then we'll graph the things individually. All right, so what I got is x squared minus 4x minus 2. All right, then I got negative x plus 2. All right, draw, g solve, intersect. So I'm going to go ahead and do this, negative 1 over 3 up. Okay, and then my other intersection is 4, negative 2. All right, so that's what my answer is. Okay, now I got to finish the graph. Okay, all right, so 4, negative 2, negative 1, 3 up. All right, so I know that those points have to be in there. Okay, so let's just go ahead and I'm going to take out just that line first, and I'm going to just draw this. All right, g solve minimum. Okay, I got 2, negative 6. Okay, g solve root. I got negative 0.4 and 4.4 here. All right, g solve y intercept 0, negative 2. So through all these things, all right, including the intersections, which are the box things, I want to make my dots. Okay, it's probably the easiest way to do it. Then let's go ahead and graph the line itself. All right, draw. Oops, I did put a 2 in there. All right, draw. Okay, g solve root. All right, 2, 0. G solve y intercept 0, 2. And then I also got to connect through the box. Okay. All right, so that's my answer. So finding the intersection first is probably going to be the easiest thing to do. Okay, so let's work some of that now. Okay, so let's put both equations in. Okay, I got x squared minus 4x plus 5. And I got negative x squared plus 5. All right, I draw. G solve intersect 0, 5 is going to be one of those. Okay, click over here. I got 2, 1. That's going to be another one. All right. So basically, my graphs have to go through those points. All right. So let's delete the second one. Draw g solve root. No roots. G solve minimum. 2, 1. So that's here. Okay. G solve y intercept. 0, 5. So also there. So I pretty much know my U shape does that. Okay. Let's put it in the second one. I got negative x squared plus 5. All right. G solve root. All right, negative 2.2. So here and here. Okay. All right. G solve maximum. All right, 0, 5. So that's going to be here again. All right. G solve y intercept is the same thing. So what this is going to do is it's going to go through this point, go through this point, go through this point, and go through that point. Okay. Okay, so find the intersections first. Okay, let's go ahead and do another one. All right. So I got negative 2x squared plus 3x plus 4. I got x squared minus x minus 3. All right, so draw g solve intersection. We've got negative 1, negative 1. Hit over 2.3, 0.1. 2.3 over 0.1. So here. Okay. So my graphs each have to go through those points. So I'm going to delete the second one. Draw. G solve, that's going to be a maximum. 0.75, 5.51. So somewhere in here. Okay. G solve root. Negative 0.85. So here. And if I click over 2.3, so here. All right. G solve y intercept 0, 4. So it's got to go through all those, the box points, everything. Okay. And then I'm going to graph this other one, which is x squared minus x minus 3. All right, g solve minimum, 0.5, negative 3.25, should be here. All right, G solve root, negative 1.3, which should be here. Okay, and if I click over, I get the other one, which is 2.3. We're in there. Okay. All right, G solve y-intercept, negative 3. So it goes through this, through the box points, through that box point. Gives you a good idea of what the shape's gonna look like. All right. Okay, let's do another one. Negative x squared minus x minus 12. X squared plus 7x plus 12. Draw. Okay. All right, now if I zoom out, execute, I see this. So what this answer is no solution because that doesn't have an intersection, not found. Okay. All right, now if you want to just graph these, this is pretty easy because I don't have anything to connect them with. G solve maximum, negative 0.5, negative 11.5, so here, okay? And then I don't think I have any roots, I do not. G solve y-intercept, negative 12, so here. So this graph is all the way down there. And then I put the other one in there, which is the x squared plus 7x plus 12. Okay, draw. G solve minimum would be negative 3.5, negative 0.5, negative 0.25. So 1, 2, 3, negative 0.25, okay? G solve root, I got a root at negative 4. I got a root at negative 3. G solve y-intercept, that's all the way up here at 12. Okay, so that's how simple my graph is. Obviously two graphs that do not intersect, okay? All right, I think this is the last one. Let me just double check. Yep. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I am going to put a graph in, x minus 2 squared plus 3. Okay, and then I got negative x plus 1 squared. Whoops. X plus 1 squared minus 2. Draw. Okay. All right. Once again, that's going to be a no solution problem. Okay, why? Because if I do G solve root, I'm sorry, I do G solve intersection, doesn't have one. Okay, so I can just graph these individually now. Minimum, 2 over 3 up. Don't think this has any roots. Nope. G solve y-intercept has a y-intercept of 7. Okay, this graph looks like this. Okay, this graph here, negative x plus 1 squared minus 2. Draw. Okay, G solve max, negative 1 over negative 2 down. This doesn't have any roots. Does have a y-intercept of 0, negative 3. This graph looks like this. Okay, so that is how you do solve by graphing. You're basically finding the intersection points and then just making the graphs.